Hey everyone, Maria here from applediaries.com. Same day, different video. Somebody requested that I share how I came across Dr. Morse's information. I previously did a video where I explained my whole situation living on the 7-acre farm and how I came to eliminate the animal products from my diet, and then I moved into a tiny home on my friend's orchard and began healing and learning more from there. So I'll start from there. Once I got to that property, and I was growing food for the people who owned the property. There was another couple that lived in a dome down by the lake, which was not too far from our tiny home. And she was an interesting girl. I mean, she changed my life in ways that I'll always be grateful for, even though it didn't necessarily... Anyways, I won't get into it. So she had created a space in one of the work buildings. There was a bunch of buildings on the property, and she had created this space to go up and play guitar or just to relax. It was sort of like a relaxing sort of area. And she had this book. It was called Arnold Ehret Rational Fasting, and I just happened to stumble across it. Stumbled across it, and I thought, hey, this looks really interesting. Can I borrow it? So she lent it to me. I was walking down the stairs, and right at that moment, my father was walking up the stairs. And he lives an hour and a half, 2 hours away, and didn't visit a lot. And he just happened to come by at that very time. As I was walking down the stairs with the book, I was looking at it, and he was like walking up, and he says, "Oh, that book. That guy, this book is written in the early 1900s. It's not a new book. And it's not very well known." Well, it's a lot more known now, now that so many of us have been on the case, sharing the information from it. But anyways, he said, "That book, oh, that guy just irks me." And I looked at him and I said, "Why?" And he said, "I don't know. Just let me know how you find it or something." Anyways, so I went home and I began reading that book. And oh my God, like I couldn't put it down. I literally read it from cover to cover within 2 days. And, since then I had read it more. But I ended up calling my father and telling him that was the most important book I had ever read in my entire life, hands down. I mean, it explains so much, and it really, when I eliminated animal products and meat, dairy, and grains and all that, I knew that I was on the right path, but I didn't know that there was so much more to it. So it was Arnold Ehret Rational Fasting, and from there I jumped into it. I began fasting. I did my first 5-day water fast, and I did a couple 3-day water fasts and another 5-day water fast. I eliminated a few more items from my diet, and from there I ended up doing a 2-year transition diet, basically. This is where I spent 2 years, incorporating fasting, and I didn't eat outside of fruits and vegetables, really. My main cheat foods were coconut bread, which is just made from coconuts, and then the starter, and then some nuts and seeds or nut butters sometimes. I would get into those to curb my heavy cravings. But other than that, I was, living off of, I would eat around noon, and I'd have, always start with fruits, and then a little while later I'd have a big salad, and I'd have steamed vegetables and homemade sauces and the Vitamix on top of that. I would, eat baked squash or the yams or the sweet potatoes, and, I kept it to the mucusless diet, I didn't use salts, I eliminated condiments, I eliminated vinegars, so it was going really well. I healed quite a bit just on that mucusless diet. I mean, I had been biting my nails since I was 6 years old, and I had tried everything, and I bit my nails bad, like down to where, like, people would look at my hands, and they were kind of disgusting looking, and I was embarrassed by them, but I had tried everything my entire life to quit biting my nails. And it wasn't until I was maybe a year into the mucusless diet that I just lost the urge to bite my nails. So that was amazing to me. Anyways, I had heard about Dr. Morse on social media, and I had seen his photo, and I'd heard things about the fruit diet and all this, but I wasn't ready to receive his information for quite a while, and I didn't want to look at his information for some reason, and I know why. I had to go through this transition diet for a few years. I was so highly toxic, more than the average individual, because a lot of pharmaceuticals and alcoholism and genetic issues were in my on the table for myself, and so I needed a lengthy transition diet. And I think that if I had heard Morse's information any sooner, I probably would have messed it all up. I probably would have just jumped into all fruits, and and with a weak pancreas and all the issues I've had, I just wouldn't have been able to cope as well, I think. Anyways, so I finally decided maybe 2 years in to look at Dr. Morse's information. And I was a little ignorant myself at that time, because I'll be honest, I didn't want to look at his information because I had seen his photo, and I judged that which I did not know and that which I did not understand. His information is solid, and regardless of what he does in his personal life, which none of us know, and none of us know what it's like, to be even in your 70s and to have dealt with all the stresses of helping people, and imagine all the energies he takes on. Anyways, so that's part of the reason why I didn't look at his information. But regardless, I did, and it opened up yet another whole new world of understanding, because I had Ehret's foundation, and I also began looking into Sebi's work as well, which, I picked a lot of good information out from Sebi's work as well. A lot of things didn't resonate, but I won't get into that right now. And then Morse's information came in, and that just blew me away as well at the right time. So skip forward to, I had lived in this tiny home on the Friend's Orchard for about a year, and then things came to a point where we had to leave. At that point, the only place we could really find, because we had animals and because of our situation, was a little off-grid property, which was really far from where we were originally living, and a lot colder. Anyways, so we moved off-grid. This place had been ravished by a fire, and so the house was burnt down, the pump house was burnt down, and it was just a bare piece of land, and it was just under 2 acres. So we moved there, and we started from the ground up. What we did was built a new pump house, and then put our trailer there and lived off-grid on solar and the generator, which was very tough in a Canadian winter. I think living off-grid can be beautiful, but not when the conditions are so tough that all you're doing is counteracting the weather conditions, really. But anyway, so I lived there for over a year, but after spending a whole winter freezing and having to keep that fire going 24/7, and the amount of wood that you have to use, and the amount of times I smoked out the entire trailer, how unhealthy is that? Smoke is so acidic, and then I would, the pressure would be low, and I'd put the wood in and it'd be a little bit damp, and suddenly, like, you wake up at 2 a.m. and the whole trailer's smoked out, and it's like, anyways, so it was good though, because I needed to spend the time down there, I think. Living off-grid, away from family and friends, hardly anybody visited us because we had nowhere for anyone to stay. It was good, and it enabled me to heal even further. So fast forward now, now I'm living in a small town, just in a rental, and as a lot of people know, I'm living on an apple orchard, which is beautiful for somebody who has a high fruit diet, right? Living on an apple orchard? No, because a guy's always out there on his tractor with full out mask and sometimes even a bodysuit, because what he's spraying all over those apples are completely toxic. It's crazy what people will do to comply and to be part of the Fruit Growers Association so they can sell their fruit and have an outlet. It's sad that people will compromise everybody else's health to make a buck. But that's the world we live in, right? That's the world we live in. Everyone's got to make a living, and people will go against everything they believe in if they even believe that it's healthy, better to supply people with healthier foods. Anyways, that's a whole nother topic. So yes, so now I'm living on this apple orchard in a rental and gardening and, just trying to make ends meet like everyone else. So that's how I came across Dr. Morse's information. And I feel no matter what people think about him personally, his information is solid. It is. He's got some amazing information, and I do hope that people can see past, the guy's probably been through a lot of stress too. Who knows? Anyways, don't shoot the messenger, The message is solid. And the truth is truth, and it resonates with people, regardless, because you can't keep it down, And truth is easily tested on your own body if you want to take the time to do that. These people who are saying, putting it down are generally the people that A, can't stick to an all-fruit diet, which I understand. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. I had to come up with many different creative ways to stick to all fruits so I can allow my body to heal. I can get into some of the creative ways. One that I've been doing lately, and this may seem extreme, but intermittent fasting is just so healthy anyways. And what I do is, lately I've been pushing my first meal back to 4 o'clock because I've realized for myself personally that when I start eating, I open up the floodgates to want to eat more. And then, so if I start with fruits earlier in the day now, by the time dinner comes, I want something heavier. Now I'm just talking something heavier like a salad or steamed vegetables, but the thing is, I want to heal further, and that will prevent me from healing further. That's fine for a regular diet. It depends on what you want, right? But what I want is added extra healing time. So I will eat 1 meal a day, basically, and I'll start at 4 and end at 6, and I'll just, by then, you're so, hungry and grateful to be eating that, so I'll eat my mangoes, and I'll eat my smoothie, and I'll be good. And then, the day's over. So I wait for that 1 meal. That's what I've been doing lately. But I mean, people ask, what do you eat in a day? And it's hard to do a video of that sort because what I eat in a day changes as the seasons change, as my body changes, as my goals change. So, some days I'll be eating fruits all day, and then some days I'll be eating fruits all day, and then I'll have a salad in the evening. It depends on so many factors. But I am going to do a video soon called What I Don't Eat in a Day. Yeah, I figured that was better. Anyways, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for listening. I don't know that I'm even going to put this video up now that I've kind of done it. I've realized I don't know if there's a lot to learn from it. I may or may not. So anyways, thank you for listening, and take care. Happy healing, everyone. I do wish everyone well. And we've all been, misled equally on in life in terms of how to care for ourselves and how to feed ourselves. And I feel that we all deserve equal opportunity or chance to heal ourselves and to get the correct information, and so that we can apply it, because it's not fair that people have to suffer because they've been given the wrong information. It's just not fair. Anyways, happy healing, everyone.